Hey, I'm Janice Robinson, and I'm in the Hilton Head Island area of South Carolina. I grew up in this great state, and for sure I can tell you it gets hot here. So in the summer, my family loves light dinners. And so tonight, we're going to prepare something that you will love. It'll be great for your family, and it's called tomato pie. And you might ask, what in the world is tomato pie? Well, I can tell you. It's just a simple Italian tasting dish that's simple to make with just a few ingredients, and it will show off our delicious Philly cream cheese with chives and onions. So today, all we're going to do is take a frozen pie shell and put a few holes in that so that we don't mess up the pie shell when it's cooking, because you know what can happen sometimes. So we're going to bake that for just 5 or 6 minutes, because all we're really doing is giving it a quick jump start. We don't want to fully cook that. So we're going to chop this onion and dice it pretty finely. You can use a yellow onion or you can use a sweet Vidalia Georgia onion, whichever you prefer. And you need about a medium size. You can use just an onion, or you can add a couple of shallots, which is what I like to do. A lot of people don't use shallots, but I really like them because they have a little bit more of a mild flavor, and especially if your onion's a little bit tart, it helps balance out that flavor. So you just peel it really similar to what you do with your onion. Just take the outer layers and the edges off, and then slice and dice those up nice and small and add them to your tomato mixture. While that's baking, we're going to add our tomatoes, which I've sliced, and I use 2 medium, or you can use 1 large. And next, I'm going to add my salt, pepper, and oregano, which I've already mixed up. I have 1 tablespoon of each. And the reason I'm doing this now, I was watching Paula one day on television, and she said that the salt helps the tomatoes drain the juices. And we want to get all the juices we can out of this, because if you have too much liquid in there, it'll be a soggy pie, and we want a crisp pie. So I've got a large shallot, a medium onion that I've diced up, and we're going to add the can of tomatoes and green chilies. And just give that a quick stir. It's important to get all this liquid out. I can't let you know how important that is. You won't have a very good pie if you don't do that. You know what? I think I smell that pie shell. Let's go check it. So what we did was let the pie shell cook for about 5 or 6 minutes to get it started. We don't want it to overcook. And the next thing we're going to do is construct our pie. Oh yeah, by the way, don't forget, turn your oven down to 375 before you bake the pie shell. You don't want it to cook overly quickly. So we're just going to place this in our pie shell. And how pretty is this? And the next thing we're going to do is construct our cheese mixture. All right, ladies, do not save a little money and be penny foolish. Use your best ingredients. Today, we're using Philadelphia cream cheese, chive, and onion. And this is one of the key ingredients in this pie that give it that delicious flavor. So what we're going to do is take 4 ounces of the Philadelphia cream cheese, which I've already measured out. We're going to use 1 cup of mozzarella and a 1/2 cup of the grated Parmesan, 2 tablespoons of milk, and we're adding a little mayonnaise. You know we Southern girls like our mayonnaise. And about half of the amount of the basil, salt, and pepper in this mixture will go in the topping. And all you have to do is mix it up with your fork. And you see how easy it is? It's one of the reasons I love this dish. You don't have to pull out the mixer. You just have a few key ingredients. In fact, I generally have all these ingredients on hand at the house. And in the summer, when the tomatoes are coming in, mine won't be in for a few weeks yet, but we're getting local tomatoes in about 2 weeks. This makes a delicious summer fare. So all we have to do now is put this on top of our pie. So you see how quickly this is coming together? We're going to bake it about 30-35 minutes, depending on your oven, how hot your oven cooks. Just take your fork and spread the topping on nicely. And then we are ready to go in the oven. How fast was that? It's been about 35 minutes, so our pie is ready, and we're going to take it out of the oven and let it cool down just a little bit. And again, let it cool down. I know it's tempting, but it needs to sit here for at least 15 minutes so that when we cut it, it'll be nice and firm. I love this vegetarian dish, but if you want a little extra protein, all you need to do is cook about 6 strips of bacon, nice and crispy, and about 10 minutes before the pie is ready, put it on the top of the cheese, press it down lightly with a fork, and finish cooking your pie. But I'll tell you, in my salads, we generally have enough protein. I had some leftover chicken last night, so I put that in my salad, some nuts, some nice cheese, and really got about all the protein I think I need. But speaking of this dish, you know, there's so many good things in it for you. Tomatoes are one of the superfoods, a very healthy food for you. Now, I'm going to show you something I learned while watching one of Paula's shows one day, and you may have seen it before, but it's to simply cut your pie tin with your scissors to help you remove your pie. And I'm so glad I saw her doing this because it does make such a difference. So we're going to plate our first piece. Go after that second piece. I'll give him the bigger one. He likes this pie a lot. And then we're going to add our salad. It's already prepared. And clean up these plates a little bit. We're going to add our garnish, which, depending on how much heat you like, just add a couple little slices of jalapeno. And then I'll meet you outside because we're having dinner outside tonight. You can see why I like eating outside. It's so pretty today. And we're going to have our dinner outside. You hear the birds chirping. David will be home in about 2 minutes. So I've got everything already laid out and ready to go. Just a quick tidbit. The other night we went to a party actually next door, and we had to take an appetizer. I took this same dish, and the only difference is I used a refrigerated pie crust, and I made 24 little circles with the biscuit cutter and put that in a muffin tin. It was the hit of the party. Now, I live in South Carolina, but this is an area where there's a lot of transplants. I'm the only Southerner I know in the whole neighborhood except my husband. And so we're at the party, and the girls said, "What is that?" And I said, "This is tomato pie." And they said, "Well, I've never heard of that. That must be one of you dishes you Southern girls are so known for." And I said, "Actually, it is." And there wasn't even one little piece left. So you try this recipe and you'll see why, and I hope you enjoy. Let's take a quick look at what we're having for dinner, and you have a good evening.